I'm Dr. Coupland. I'm a research fellow at the Harry Butler Institute at Murdoch University. We're at South Padbury Primary School at their very own pocket forest. This pocket forest was the first one to be planted at a school anywhere in Australia, and it's 1 year old today. The Pocket Forest program is a dedicated outreach program from the Harry Butler Institute. It brings Miyawaki or pocket forest into the school so that children can get their hands dirty and get involved in tangible environmental action. They can actually see that their actions make a difference. What the children do is they create compost through contributing their lunch and recess scraps into a compost system, and then they use that to help regenerate the soil for their forest. But not only do they collect the compost material themselves from their own food waste, they go out into the community as well. So they go to local businesses such as the local supermarkets or the local coffee shops, and they collect coffee grounds and fruit and vegetable waste, and they bring that back. So not only are they actually stopping that food waste going into landfill, it actually goes into creating their very own forest. They're actually engaging the local community and making the local community interested in their forests and what's going to happen. Once they've planted the forest, they monitor the forest every month. So they look at plant growth rates, plant mortality rates, animal diversity, and also the soil and air temperature regimes inside and outside the forest. The Miyawaki forest methodology was developed by Japanese botanist Professor Akira Miyawaki. He came up with a method where you plant locally native species at very high densities, so 3 to 5 plants per metre squared. And this follows intensive soil remediation so that you're providing ideal conditions for plant growth. The beauty about the Miyawaki method is that because the plants are planted at high density and they're locally adapted to the conditions, these forests grow very quickly, much faster than you'd experience using traditional methods. Professor Miyawaki devised this methodology to rehabilitate degraded areas of the urban landscape and to bring nature back into our cities. The beauty of Miyawaki forests is they can basically fit into any unused area of land. If enough of them are planted, they can act as wildlife corridors or wildlife stepping stones, linking remnant patches of vegetation.
We're at code red now. We really need action at the national and local level. But at the local level, people often feel disempowered. They feel like they can't achieve anything. The beauty of Miyawaki forests is that they provide tangible outcomes and bite-sized environmental action that can really engage communities and inspire the next generation of eco-warriors.
Bringing Miyawaki forest into the school brings climate action right into the classroom. And this is really important because children can often feel disempowered by the enormity of the climate crisis. In order to value nature and to fight for it, we need to re-establish that connection. So by children planting their very own forest, they can actually participate in an environmental action that they can see has tangible environmental outcomes. Some children have never actually played in the dirt before, and watching the smiles on their faces after they've planted their very first plant is so rewarding. In one of the schools, one of the children had never actually planted before, and then he went on to plant 5 other plants, and he was so excited. We know that interaction with nature is extremely important for human health and well-being. The Miyawaki Outreach Program allows children to get out of the classroom and to reconnect with nature, and the health benefits from this are enormous. The children act as citizen scientists in this outreach program. They go out there, they actually plant their own forest, and then every month they come out into the forest and actually monitor it. And because the program ties in with a dedicated research program that I'm running from the Harry Butler Institute, they can see real science in action. I'm looking at soil respiration rates to see how much carbon dioxide has been emitted by the soil. This gives us an idea of soil microbial activity. It's probably one of the more important things to measure because it gives us an indication of how well the soil in the forest is functioning. I also collect soil samples for eDNA analysis, so that's environmental DNA. And that gives us an idea of the organisms that are inhabiting the soil. This can be from bacteria to fungi, also up to worms and beetles, basically anything that's in contact with the soil. So the forests that have been planted this year have been funded by Carbon Positive Australia. There's also one in association with SUGI, which is an international NGO where forest makers from around the world plant Miyawaki forests in various countries to help mitigate climate change. The Miyawaki Forest Programme is recognised as one of the 100 UNESCO Green Citizen Programmes for 2022, so that's a very exciting award and achievement. I would like to see this programme extended across Australia in as many schools as possible so that children can experience science in action. I'm also establishing a sister forest network with countries around the world. So we've got 2 schools that are joining us in Chile and 3 in the United States. And the children will connect and share their data, share their experiences with the forest, and interact with other children who are taking climate action.